Watch it.
Okay, I call this meeting of the Fremont County Board of Commissioners to order. If you all will please stand and join us for the invocation by Tom Kilgore from the First Southern Baptist Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
The quietness in this room reminds me of some of the Rockies games I've been to recently. Let's pray. Father God, thank you for today. Thank you that we can assemble as free citizens to speak about the business of our community. God, thank you for those that help us to run this county, who oversee everything about it. And as we come as leaders in this community, on my mind, and I hope on our leaders' minds, are those who are less fortunate, those who have trouble paying their bills, those who have trouble even eating, those who have issues with health and can't find appropriate medical care. Father, may we as leadership in this community do all that we can to have the very best county, the very best city that we can for all of our citizens. Take now this meeting, God, and use it in a way that prospers our community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tom. Roll call, please.
Commissioner McFall?
Present.
Commissioner Bell?
Present.
Commissioner Payne?
Present.
County Attorney Jackson?
Present.
County Manager Bryant?
Present.
Planning and Zoning Director Garrett?
Present.
Okay, next we move on to approval of the agenda. I believe we have an addition.
Indeed, Mr. Chair, we do. I move to approve today's agenda with the following change. Add a new item under new business, and I'm proposing to make this item number 1, and therefore renumbering the other 4 items for new business appropriately. This item will read, approval of the chairman's signature on a grant award letter from the Electronic Recording Technology Board, Colorado Department of State, for the Clerk and Recorder's Office.
With that change, I second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda with one addition, which will be the first item under new business. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
On to the consent agenda. I would like to note that we are scheduling a public hearing for May 14th for a request for a temporary use permit for Howard Creek Farms.
With that, Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, administrative and informational. Staff and elected official. First, we'll start with County Manager's report. Sonny Bryant. Good morning.
Good morning. So just a couple of updates. So on April 11th, we had an EPA conference call. So we are working with City of Canyon City, City of Florence, and then various members in the community on an EPA brownfields grant. And so if this is the first time that you're hearing about it and interested in getting more information, we do have a page on the county website that you can go on. And if you know of some little or some parcels in your area that you may want us to look at, there's a nomination form in there as well, and so we can get that information for you. The last 2 weeks we've had our auditing firm, Kyle Logan and Associates, doing our annual audit for the county, so I appreciate all of the work that the departments and elected officials have put in on this. It's been this is a new firm that we're working with, so it's been a lot of transition and a lot of information that they've been requesting. Last week I attended the area managers luncheon, so it's always good to see what the various managers in the community are doing. And then last week we also had a COSY scholarship meeting. So this is the Colorado Opportunity Scholarship Initiative. So Commissioner McFall and I are on that committee, and it's always neat to be able to award scholarships to various high school seniors that are going into college. So we're looking at finalizing that over the next few weeks. So that's all I have for now.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, sir. I have two quick things this morning. First, I would like to remind you all that Tire Day is coming up this Saturday at Wholesome. So take per person up to 20 tires that you don't want to put in a landfill, that you want to get rid of in your garage, your backyard, wherever they might happen to be, out to Wholesome plant, the cement plant out on Highway 120, between 8 a.m. and noon. Remember, 20 tires per person. You must provide proof that you live in Fremont County. And these are for passenger tires only, no tractors, no big truck tires or anything like that. Secondly, I would like to add, since we have 3 weeks between meetings this time, believe it or not, Blossom Festival is going to happen before our next meeting. So I just wanted to make a quick note that it is coming up very quickly. The parade, of course, will be on Saturday, May the 4th, but there are events all week and long, actually starting, I believe, on Wednesday, May 1st with the carnival. So make your plans now. Be there.
Good deal. It's always a fun time, Blossom, and hopefully the weather holds out. I don't know, I haven't looked at the forecast, but it's either really, really hot or kind of cold and rainy sometimes. So
Forecasts are never right anyway,
yes,
so.
Let's look outside. All right, good events coming up. There's a lot of stuff happening as a spring starts to pop. Lots of good fishing. The river's in good shape right now, so hopefully the snow continues to melt slowly so we don't get any floods, but also just keep in mind that when you're out there to be safe and watch for the fire danger because it is still pretty dry. Anyone else? Okay, the next item is citizens who wish to speak to commissioners on matters not scheduled on the agenda. Ms. Everett had filled out one of these, but she wanted to talk on the CUP, which is our next order of business. So in respect for the process, we're going to forego that for now, okay? Anyone else? Don't have anything else? Okay. So the next order of business is old business for consideration, which is amendments to the Fremont County zoning resolution. There were 3 proposed changes to the zoning resolution regulations. One lowering the minimum dwelling size, one reducing the number of initial applicants, and the third one was changing the requirement regarding CUP renewals. There is a process in which these come about. They don't just end up on our agendas. They start with Planning and Zoning Department. They then go to the Planning Commission, who questions them, analyzes them, however you want to look at that. And then after it comes out of the Planning and Zoning Commission, then it shows up on our agenda. So there's a lot of discussion that happen on these before we ever see them most of the times. I just want to make that clear that it's not just something that we just threw on here, that there is a process that this happens. And so we're dealing with one that we had a public hearing on in our last meeting. It was tabled for today's meeting. And now we're going to talk about that. So first, I would like to ask for a staff report from Sean to bring us up on this again, please.
Okay, as you had stated, that there's 3 amendments being proposed. The first one is lowering the minimum dwelling size to 400 square feet. That'll be changing from 750 square feet. And that also eliminates the minimum width requirement of 24 feet. The second is reducing the number of initial applications submitted. This will be for special review uses, conditional use permits. This will take it down to 1 hard copy, which would be original, 1 electronic copy to save on cost and paper reduction, all that stuff. The third is changing requirements regarding hearings for CUP renewals. That change would be to have it at the discretion of the board whether a public hearing would be necessary rather than having it as a requirement.
Okay, thank you. So now we'll come to the commissioners. Do you have anything that you would like to say?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to point out this is the reason that we have public hearings. We have public hearings so that we can hear from all of you. And we heard from many, many of you, not only during the public hearing itself, but then we started receiving a lot of emails afterward that we also took time to sit down and to read and to digest. One of the reasons I believe that item C had been proposed was because we rarely have people show up who want to speak about a CUP renewal. But I believe we have heard loud and clear that our public wants the opportunity to continue to do that. We do talk a lot on this board about being open, about being honest, about being transparent, and about being accountable. And I think that our public is holding us to those things with this particular amendment. I want you to know we have heard you loud and clear, and therefore, Mr. Chair, I am prepared to make a motion.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
I move to approve items A and B under the Fremont County amendments of the Fremont County zoning resolution. Item A, to lower the minimum dwelling size to 400 square feet, and item B, reducing the number of initial applications submitted, and therefore ignoring and not approving item C, changing requirements regarding hearings for CUP renewals.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll have a second.
I'll second that.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded to accept A and B in the zoning resolutions amendments.
I believe approve.
Approve A and B, but not approve C for the zoning resolutions. Any other discussion?
Well, Mr. Chair, sometimes we have ideas that we think are going to streamline process, and as Commissioner Bell said, we heard people loud and clear, and sometimes those ideas aren't always brilliant. So with that, we'll leave it right there.
You have any other discussion?
Nope.
I too, I want to kind of chime in on that a little bit. When I decided to run for commissioner, that was part of my deal, is we the people, and we are the people, you are the people. I completely believe in transparency. I don't ever want to hide anything or be accused of hiding anything, and this was not intended to do that. However, it was kind of taken in that form. But I believe that we're doing the right thing here. We'll leave that as is. The other two changes are good changes. They're kind of changing with what's happening in our communities and the way we're, I guess for lack of a better way to put it, evolving. But I do appreciate everyone that has reached out to us, and you're always welcome to reach out to us no matter what the situation is. And our doors are always open.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. On to new business. And the first item is what we added there. We'll ask for Clerk Grantham to please come up, and he wants to talk about his grant award letter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. With this new item on the agenda, we recently, when I first took office, I started off in the recording department trying to learn every aspect of it. And a few weeks into the office, I actually went to a conference, and we learned about the Electronic Recording Technology Board. Currently, every clerk and recorder in the state collects a surcharge for every document recorded. 2 of those dollars go to the ERTB board. So in seeing that, we had the ability to apply for a grant which would allow us to enhance our office, digitize our office, or do technological upgrades. In February, we submitted this grant, and in March, we heard that we were approved for a grant totaling in $221,949.13. With this grant, we were able to purchase a new wide format printer to scan our plats and our surveys as well as print them. We were able to purchase new computers, monitors. We have digitization of our filed documents, our plats and our ditch plats, which haven't been digitized before. We can complete our indexing of our real estate records, upgrade our web-based platform, which will make it easier for user interface and better access for all of our records off-site at a computer. And we'll also be able to index all of our records as well, so that when somebody's looking at home, most of our older documents are referenced by book and page instead of our reception number. They will be able to look at that, as well as legal description, as well as the type of document that we have in our office. It'll take some time to transition to these digitized documents because we are hiring a U.S. Imaging to actually index and to copy our images. So we're looking maybe at a 6 to 8 month time frame. But once that is done, our records will be very easily accessible online. once we received notification, I realized that we'll no longer have to handle all of our books and all of our plats, so I realized that we need a preservation of all of our instruments. So we're actually applying for this grant because you can apply multiple times so that we can actually preserve and secure our documents from more deterioration over time. So that is why I'm here before you guys today to ask for the chairman's signature on our grant that we received.
So thank you, Justin. This is a good, a great grant. I mean, and it's a lot of money too. I think you're right. Preserving all these records is very important, and the more they're handled, the less time they're gonna last. So it's a great grant. Thanks for applying for it, and I'm glad we got this. And I know you're gonna apply for it again, so we can help store these also.
Absolutely.
So in a real-world application, somebody making a real estate transaction, this would help them from an office to, is that an example? Would that be a good example of how this would work in a real-world situation?
So right now, most real estate agents go through a title company to record real estate documents, and most of those title companies go through a third-party vendor to actually electronically record quitclaim deeds, warranty deeds, of those nature. In this aspect, mostly it'd be the title researchers that'll benefit from this the most, to make sure there are no liens on a property or encumbrances that are visible now. So that's exactly what we're doing. With the plats that'll be digitized, especially the ditch plats, we've had a lot of people in recently asking, where is this ditch really located? And we have to pull out the original Mylar plat to actually find out if it's there. And sometimes they'll reference easements, sometimes they'll reference deeds where the actual ditch was transferred to the ditch company. This will alleviate those questions because most of that information is on the plat itself. So they don't have to dig for hours researching, they can go to that. Also with the indexing, we'll index by easement and by the type of deed, so that won't have to search by who sold it to whom, and they'll be able to find it quicker.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Accessibility for sure.
Yes.
No questions, but congratulations.
Thank you very much.
This is very exciting, not only, I believe, for your office, but for everyone in Fremont County.
Absolutely.
Continuing to move into the future, so good job.
Thank you very much.
So with that, Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the chairman's signature on the grant award letter for the Electronic Recording Technology Board, Colorado Department of State, for the clerk and recorder's office.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to approve the chairman's signature on the grant award letter for the e-recording.
It should be the contract as well.
The contract as well.
Yes, contract as well. Okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
I want to back up one time. We need a resolution number for the resolution for the amendments to the zoning.
17.
Resolution 17?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next item of business is our annual ambulance licensing renewals. We have Michael Kroll, who is our emergency manager, coming up. We'll talk about these ambulance licenses. We have 6 entities, I believe.
That's correct.
Good morning, Michael.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I started back in the first week of April doing ambulance inspections, and I would like to get the Board of County Commissioners approval and signatures on the agency licenses today. AMR, American Medical Response, they have 4 ambulances that serve Canyon City and other areas in Fremont County. They are fully staffed, ALS 24/7, 365. Life for Life, Colorado, they have 2 ambulances. They're based out of St. Mary Cortland Hospital in Pueblo. They're actually staffed with nurses as well as their ALS EMTs, and they run between noon and midnight as their ground staffing works out for them.
So Michael, let me just for a second, just for everybody's benefit that might not know, ALS, Advanced Life Support, and then there's basic life support, and you're talking advanced life support. So it's the most on that ambulance that could be possibly needed, I guess. Is how do we explain that for people that don't know?
That's correct. ALS is your highest level of care, and that EMT intermediates, EMT advanced, or paramedics.
Okay, thank you.
BLS is going to be your EMT basic, and they might have an IV certification as well.
Very good, thank you.
Florence Volunteer Fire Department, they run 2 ambulances out of Florence Fire Station 1. They are staffed ALS and BLS depending on the time of the day to meet their staffing because they are an all-volunteer department. As well as Penrose Volunteer Fire Department, they are ALS and BLS staff depending on who is at the station and available. Deer Mountain Fire Protection District, they also run 2 ambulances, ALS and BLS staffing. Also Arkansas Valley Ambulance District, they run ALS and BLS staffing. Everybody was very well prepared, and some of the medications and other things that expired had to wait on a few of them, but everybody got everything in order. Just did the last one yesterday with Arkansas Valley Ambulance, but everybody did a very good job this year. So I would like to ask that the agency licenses, get your signatures, and it will be renewed for another year from April 30th.
So procedurally, because they all have the capability of running at ALS, although at times they run at BLS, we license them for ALS. Is that correct?
That's correct, because if we license them as BLS, then they can only run as BLS. But if we do ALS, if they have at least one ALS staff member on that call, then they can run as ALS or BLS.
Okay.
And meaning the ambulance is equipped to handle ALS then?
That's
right.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so I believe we need to do these one at a time.
Can we do them all together?
One at a time.
One at a time.
So
All right.
let's start with AMR.
All right, Mr. Chair, I move to award AMR an ALS license.
Second.
Expiring April 30th, 2020.
Yes, April 30th, 2020.
It has been moved and seconded to approve AMR's ALS license expiring April 30th, 2020. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next one, Flight for Life.
Oh, you're messing me up here.
Sorry, I'm not going in the order he read them and not.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve Flight for Life Colorado for ALS, and that'll also expire April 30th, right?
Yes.
2020, April 30th, 2020.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve Flight for Life ALS, also expiring April 30th, 2020. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Florence.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve an ALS license for the Florence Volunteer Fire Department expiring April 30th of 2020.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Florence ALS license expiring April 30th, 2020. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Penrose.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve Penrose Volunteer Fire Department for an ALS, also expiring April 30th, 2020.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Penrose ALS license expiring April 30th, 2020. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Deer Mountain.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve an ALS license for Deer Mountain Fire Protection District with the date to expire on April 30th, 2020.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Deer Mountain Fire Protection for ALS expiring April 30th, 2020. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
AVA, Arkansas Valley Ambulance District.
Mr. Chair, make a motion that we approve Arkansas Valley Ambulance for ALS, also expiring April 30th, 2020.
Second.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve Arkansas Valley Ambulance District for ALS expiring April 30th, 2020. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, Michael, thank you for your work on these and inspecting these ambulances and make sure that they're up to what they need for that. And we appreciate you taking care of that.
And
Thank you.
I would just like to say this process seems to have gone a little smoother this year than it has typically in the
Yes.
past. So I wanted to say thank you for that. Your professionalism, I think, has added a lot to Fremont County Emergency Services. We notice and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, on to item number 3, which is approval of a task order D for professional service agreement with Armstrong Consultant Incorporated for a taxiway project. We have Wes Brandt here, who is our airport manager. Good morning, Wes.
Good morning, Wes.
So can you tell us a little bit about this?
Absolutely. So we've been planning a taxiway rehabilitation project. And the two elements, element 1 is taxiway alpha, from alpha 1 to alpha 2. And the second one is rehabilitate taxiway alpha.
Wes, if you want to take the microphone, you can.
Okay. So those two elements, we've been rehabilitating this section here is the first element, and the second element is from the runway up to the alpha 2.
And this is the design engineer to do that, correct?
Correct. So this year we are in the design phase. So we are investigating what needs to be done. There's some significant cracking of taxiways. So the plan is based on the study that we would mill the surface, fill in the cracks, and then do an overlay of asphalt.
That's where all the airplanes come out to reach the runway, correct?
Right. So that when airplanes take off on runway 29, they pretty much
Right.
all use that section.
Right, so it's got a lot of traffic on it.
So that's the one that goes to the end.
So this total is $93,550 for the engineering total, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions of Wes?
I don't think so. I have a motion.
Okay, take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve Task Order D, the attachment to the professional services agreement with Armstrong Consultants Incorporated for the taxiway project in the amount of $93,550.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to approve Task Order D, attachment to the professional services agreement with Armstrong Consultant for $93,550. Any other discussion?
Do we have a grant to cover this or to cover part of it?
We do. So the $93,550 is paid with a 90% federal AIP grant. 5% will be a state CDOT grant, and then about 5% for the
That 90% is the FAA, correct? Is that the FAA?
correct.
Thank you for that.
So it has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Wes.
Thank you, Wes.
Look
Thanks,
forward
Wes.
to that coming up there. Okay, item number 4 is an appointment of a new member to the John C. Fremont Library District Board of Trustees. It's to fill a vacancy. Someone left the board, and the term will expire December 31st, 2021. We did receive a letter from the library district.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair, we did receive a letter from the Fremont, John C. Fremont Library District Board of Trustees, and they recommended the appointment of Lorenzo Torres to the library board, so I make a motion that we approve that appointment of Lorenzo Torres. The term shall expire December 31st, 2021.
And I will note this is to replace Sherry Sky Stewart, who did turn in a letter of resignation from that board. With that, I'll second.
So it's been moved and seconded to appoint Lorenzo Torres to the John C. Fremont Library District Board of Trustees, term expiring December 31st, 2021. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. The 5th item on this agenda is a resolution to pay or settle punitive damage claims and judgments against 9 current and former Fremont County Sheriff Office officials in the matter of O'Neill versus Fremont County Sheriff. I'm going to turn to our attorney, Ms. Brenda Jackson, for a little bit of an explanation on this.
Okay, the O'Neill case was initiated in 2016 by plaintiff Carolyn O'Neill against the county, the sheriff in his official capacity and individual capacity, the undersheriff in both official and individual capacities, and then 9 of the deputies who were current deputies at the time. Some have moved on to other employment or moved away from the area, but they were all employed at the time of the incident. And the case, of course, has been languishing for several years and proceeded to trial on April 1st of this year in federal court in Denver. The Colorado statutes, the case resulted in a jury verdict against the county and the 9 individual sheriff's office deputies in a total of about $2.9 million. $805,000 of that is punitive damages against the individuals. By law, a county cannot be subject to a punitive damage award. So there is some discrepancy between federal law and state law regarding the county's responsibility for payment of the judgment. First of all, I'd like to say that the matter is going to be appealed. Our attorneys who are in Denver are preparing post-trial motions to file with the U.S. District Court judge who presided over the case, asking him to set aside part or all of the jury verdict for various legal reasons. And that should be filed no later than May 9th. And then there are some time periods that have to pass with responses, replies, and giving the court time to do that. If the court does not grant the relief that we've sought, we have had discussions about further appealing it into the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals. So these judgments, although they have entered against these folks, the issues surrounding the judgments and the entry of the same are certainly not resolved as of this point. So there will be more legal proceedings to come. But as it stands right now, as of May 9th, either the judgments have to be paid or the various parties must post a bond securing payment of the judgment in the future should the appeals not be successful. So in order for Fremont County to do that, Fremont County needs to acknowledge responsibility for these judgments. The compensatory damages are not at issue. Anything that was entered as compensation to the plaintiff for the actions of the deputies or the county or both, and there were judgments against both, those are due and payable by the county if and when the appeals are all resolved. There were punitive damage awards, though, and those are less settled in the law. Because these were federal claims under federal law, there are issues of preemption and immunity and other issues that create some discrepancy as to whether or not the county is responsible for these. Were this a state claim, the county would be responsible unless the deputies acted willfully and wantonly. There is no evidence, and there were no allegations of willful and wanton conduct. These 9 individuals were doing their jobs. They were doing the jobs that they were supposed to do. They were following departmental policies and procedures. The circumstances were very unfortunate, and they were caught basically between a rock and a hard place as to the decisions that they made and the actions that they needed to take. The trial, which I attended, all but 2 hours of it, was interesting to say the least, and I think in some ways skewed, and that's the reason that the county is looking at appealing some of these judgments. So with respect to punitive damages, the statutes are clear that the county may pay these punitive damages if it determines that the actions of the deputies were not willful and wanton. That's not really in dispute at this point in time, but the acceptance of financial responsibility must be done by resolution. So that's the resolution that you have before you. Throughout this litigation, I have to note that all county officials, previous Board of Commissioners, the current Board of Commissioners, have been completely supportive of these deputies, their actions. They were acting in the best interest of the community. They were called to an unfortunate situation and did the best they could with very difficult facts. And so, given the county's support, the lack of willful and wanton conduct, the resolution before the board is to make clear that the county accepts responsibility for these judgments as county obligations, And when the litigation is completed, the county will pay whatever judgment the court orders.
So with that being said, we've had many discussions on this, and I personally, and I know we all do, 100% back our sheriff's department. And from all of the evidence that we are privy to, of course, we weren't at the trial, but we've heard of all the evidence there. These folks were just doing their job, and I feel it's our duty to back them for doing their job, because we need our law enforcement in our community. It doesn't matter what people say, we've got to have law enforcement, and they've got to be able to do their job and to do it without worry, I guess. So I think that's why we back our deputies like we are. And with this resolution, there's a little bit of it here. I'm going to ask Commissioner Bell to read the end of it. It kind of explains a little bit of that.
I may back up a little bit more than you're expecting me to.
Sure, that's fine.
One of the things that we find is it is further in the public interest for the county as the responsible public entity acting on behalf of the community served by these deputy sheriffs to pay or settle the punitive damage claims against the 9 individuals in the Carolyn O'Neill lawsuit. In support of the public interest determination, the board states, item 1, public employees in law enforcement charged with the protection of and service to the community as the highest priority, selflessly placing at risk their personal safety and lives. Item 2, public employees should not be discouraged from providing the services and functions required by the citizens or from exercising the powers authorized or required by law, which would occur if they were denied protection from unlimited liability. Item 3, the 9 deputies help form the essential thin blue line that forms the local defensive wall between criminals and potential victims of crime. And item 4, all Fremont County Sheriff deputies should be encouraged to continue to uphold and enforce the law in all circumstances without regard for the potential threat of future lawsuit. Now, therefore, consistent with the retirements of CRS 24-10-118.5 regarding payment, settlement, and acceptance of financial responsibility for punitive damages, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners for Fremont County. 1, Fremont County shall continue to defend the 9 individual deputies against the claim and judgment for punitive damages in the O'Neill lawsuit. Item 2, Fremont County shall assume financial responsibility for payment or settlement of the judgment for punitive damages in varying amounts as entered in the O'Neill lawsuit. Item 3, Fremont County will pursue motions for post-trial relief from the judgment entered in the O'Neill lawsuit, including motions in the trial court and, if necessary and appropriate, appeal to the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals.
Okay, thank you. So we, I guess, just pray that our judicial system does what it's supposed to, and up on appeal that most, if not all of this, will go away. It's our best hope.
Was that a motion?
It hasn't been yet,
No,
but
not
I'm
yet.
ready.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't think
All
it
right.
was, but I want to make sure.
In just saying that we all have talked about this many times. We all believe in the statements that we're making, and as expressed by our county attorney, we do not believe that justice was done in this particular case. So, Mr. Chair, I move to approve Resolution 18 to pay or settle punitive damage claims and judgments against 9 current and former Fremont County Sheriff's Office employees in the matter of O'Neill versus Fremont County Sheriff et al.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 18 to pay or settle punitive damages claims against 9 current and former Fremont County Sheriff's officers in the matter of O'Neill versus Fremont County Sheriff. Any other discussion?
Chair, could I make a comment really quick?
Yes.
So I just want to say from a financial perspective for Fremont County, so we've worked over the last 6 years, and all of the department heads and elected officials have worked really, really hard to be conservative in expenses and to grow the county fund balances. And so the county is doing well financially, and we would be able to absorb these costs. The discussions haven't led to the need to, put any of this on to the citizens at this point. So the intent for this would be to take it out of the county's fund balances.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, we did run over just a little bit. It is 10:09. We do have 2 public hearings scheduled. So we will start with those. Number 1, we have a special event liquor permit for the Canyon City Rodeo Association. We have Shelley Kizak. Good morning.
Hi, Shelley.
Morning.
Okay. Yeah, sorry we ran over just a little bit, but thanks for being patient with us. Okay, what's going on?
Okay. I'm Shelley Kizak. I'm here representing the Canyon City Rodeo Association. We are holding our 147th annual consecutive rodeo, May 3rd and 4th, Blossom Weekend 2019, and are seeking a special events liquor license for that event.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thanks. That's better, yeah.
Near the microphone. Okay, so this is held at Jack Harris Arena.
Right, that's top of 9th Street.
Top of 9th Street or south end of 9th Street, however you say that. So I see on the map here you have 2 designated spots where you're going to serve, right?
Correct. We have one spot located up in the front of the rodeo arena and then one in the back part.
I'm not sure that microphone is working. Can you hear? Yeah, can't hear. Yeah,
No.
it's.
See if it's on. There's a switch
He tried
on
to
it.
turn it on, yes. Check the front there and see if it's on. Technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Oh, there we
There
go.
we go.
Much better. Thanks, Derek.
All right.
Our
Now
IT
test. We
guys.
got you now, I think.
Testing.
That's
That's
There
better.
we go.
Much
Now
better.
you can hear me.
All right. Okay, so I don't have any other questions right now. We'll ask for a staff report.
The necessary paperwork and fees have all been submitted and are in order with the clerk's office.
Okay.
So can they take their beer into like the stands?
They will take their beer into the stands, yes.
Okay. Is it, so that's fenced off like behind that one building?
Right. We are
Okay.
putting fencing and gates up in the areas where we do not have fence. And we will have security standing by those gates so people cannot exit the rodeo grounds without being checked.
Okay.
And can you talk a little bit about training for servers?
Our servers are actual bartenders that serve within the Fremont County. And they are, I guess they go through their licensing through their bartending school.
And what about security for the area that is fenced?
We have a hired security personnel through a company that will be providing 6 people on site. And then we've also talked to the Sheriff's Department to have a couple of people on board.
Okay.
And I just would like to mention again, since your microphone was not working originally, this is for Saturday and Sunday, May 3rd and May 4th from 4 p.m. to midnight each day, correct?
It's Friday and Saturday, yes, May 3rd, May 4th.
And it will be your 147th annual rodeo.
Yes.
That's very impressive.
It is.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. I also would like to note, Mr. Chair, that we do have, it looks to me like, all the paperwork in order, along with, let me scroll down here, a recommendation to approve by the sheriff, as well as by our Fremont County Health Officer, Amy Jamison.
That's correct. Okay, any other questions right now? Nope. Okay, this is a public hearing. So what I will do is I will open the public hearing, and if anybody wishes to speak on this, now is the time. Going once. Okay. So no one is interested. So I will close the public hearing. And now it's back to commissioners. Any other questions? I think one interesting thing on here, I just kind of want to show this, the deed on this land. I love history. Oh my goodness, it was there. February, 8th of February, 1944. So when the deed for this property came about, I think they started the Rodeo Association in 1936, I believe, but then this land became property of the Rodeo Association in 1944. That's just cool. And it's the 147th annual rodeo, so that's an awesome feat right there.
Okay, with that trivia, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve the special event liquor permit for the Canyon City Rodeo Association for the Blossom Weekend Rodeo, May 3rd and May 4th at Jack Maris Arena.
I'll second.
So it has been moved and seconded to approve the special events liquor permit for the Canyon City Rodeo Association, May 3rd and 4th, 2019. Those hours are from 4 to 12 o'clock. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Payne,
Aye.
Commissioner Bell,
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Shelley, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Best of luck
Come
to
out
you.
and see us.
Okay. Rodeo tickets on sale already?
They're starting today.
All right, starting today.
That will be out at Bruce and Lights, selling from 3 to 7.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, the second public hearing is a special events liquor permit for Fremont Adventure Recreation at East Ridge Campground. It's on County Road 39B in Canyon City, and we have Representative Ashley Sack here this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
And it's County Road 389B, not 39.
What did I said whatever that says. 398 is what this says.
398. You said 39,
I don't know.
think.
Anyway.
Okay.
398B.
398B.
It's up on the East Ridge Campground. Anyway.
This says 389.
So
I don't know where
what
it's at.
this is for, you're having, whoops, I'm on the wrong one, an event in
May 18th.
May, yeah. I get to the right one. I went back to the Rodeo Association. But May 18th, 389B County Road. So, Ashley, this is a new event, correct?
Yes,
It's a bike ride, I believe.
it is one of those bike rides
One of those bike
on
rides.
the dirt.
Okay, will that area be fenced off then for the liquor?
Yes, we'll be using snow fencing.
That's around that little, on your map. Is that a, I don't know, picnic table or whatever's in that? Is that
Yep,
what
so
that
it's
is?
one of the permanent structures that's at the campground, so we'll be utilizing that and then extending it into essentially what is the next campsite at that location.
And they'll have to stay within that fenced area to consume their beverage.
Yes, they will.
Okay.
Could you talk a little bit to us, please, about training for your servers?
Sure. We are partnering with Florence Brewing Company, so they will be present at the serving area, and they're all licensed. And then our volunteers are either tips trained or will be under the supervision of the Florence Brewing Company employees.
Okay, thank you. And what are the hours for this event?
I believe the permit is for noon to 8. The event itself is a 12-hour mountain bike ride.
Wow.
Sounds ridiculous to me, but
Yeah, it's totally
that's why I'm serving the beer, because I'll just be there in the tent. It's a 12-hour mountain bike ride, so the ride starts at 7:30 in the morning. Nobody needs beer before noon, so we're going to just open the beer tent at noon. The event ends, awards are given out right around 8:30, and that's when we quit. So this isn't, going late into the night. We don't anticipate people overindulging. Most of them will be super tired anyway, so this is just kind of a fun opportunity to present our local brewing company at the event and for folks to just enjoy a summer day.
I guess I want to note, this is on city property, and you have permission from the city to use this campground. We have a letter from Parks Department.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So all is good there. We were down to the wire yesterday with the sheriff's report, but we did get that.
So we also have a recommendation for approval, again, from both the sheriff and from our environmental health officer.
Okay, so we'll go with the staff report.
They have submitted all necessary paperwork and fees, and all is in order with the clerk's office.
Okay.
All right.
Well, note too on the sheriff's report, though, physical inspection, they will be there the day of the event also to check it out again, and then also to verify that it's the right distance away from the nearest liquor store. Well, that one's obvious. There's no liquor store up there on that mountain. So maybe it's the layout. They're going to make sure the layout's the same as in. That's it.
Sure.
So on that one, it's the layout to make sure that you fence it off like that the picture shows.
Correct.
Because it won't be done until that day. Okay. Any other questions right at the moment? Okay. Again, this is a public hearing, so I will open the public hearing. If anyone would like to speak on this permit, now is the time. I'll rush in the herd thing again.
Slow
Okay.
down, slow down.
Watch out. Okay, no one is coming forward, so I will close the public hearing. And back to the commissioners.
Are you ready for a motion?
I believe so.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the special event liquor permit for May 18th for Fremont Adventure Recreation at East Ridge Campground on County Road 398B in Canyon City.
I'm not sure if that's 389 or 398.
Well, we've got
Because on the application it says 389.
a couple of, on that particular piece of ground.
County Road, yeah. Well,
I don't think the map shows.
On my map, it says 389B,
389B.
so I apologize if I've made a typo.
Well, it's
that
on our,
never
It's
happens.
on our agenda that the typo is there, but
in
it's
the application as well.
in the application.
Application's right.
All right.
Okay, is there a second?
There is a second.
So it has been moved and seconded to approve special event liquor permit for Fremont Adventure Recreation at East Ridge Campground on County Road 389B in Canyon City. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell? Aye. Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Good luck.
Good luck with your event. Thank you.
Good luck.
I did want to mention that this is in conjunction with Zia Rides, which is another company, so I did want to make the distinction that Fremont Adventure Recreation holds a mountain bike race, but not until the end of the summer. So we're very proud and excited to be working with this other organization who's coming from out of state, has seen all the work that we've done with new trails up there, and they've asked FAR and Florence Brewing Company to be a part of it so that we can promote the area further, even though this company is from out of state. So I just want to make that clear.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Just
Yeah.
wonderful, just promoting the area,
Congratulations.
which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
These bike riders and stuff come from all over the place. They did to your event last year, so it is a
do.
good, it's good advertisement for the
Yeah.
community and the area.
you.
So thank you for what
Yeah.
you do there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Can I interject a history fact?
Yes.
Did you know that Jack Maris Arena was actually named for a gentleman who was in charge of a prison work crew, and a prison work crew built not only the arena but the lighting system back in the time period that you were talking about?
Wow. See, now we have
there
more
you go.
We got more trivia.
I can't help it. I'm sorry.
More
Thank you.
history
All right.
for Commissioner McFall.
History's cool. That's why we're here today. Good history.
It is.
Okay. Having no further business before us, we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.